All right, so this time we are going to be reading about Thomas Jefferson. Tommy J is the third president of America. He is president March 4th, 1801 until March 4th, 1809. Thomas Jefferson, assumed the office of the presidency after defeating incumbent. What does incumbent mean? It means a person who's already president, the person who already holds the office. So Tommy J defeats incumbent president John Adams in the 1800 presidential election. The election was a realigning election in which the Democratic Republican Party swept the Federalist Party out of power. And this ushered in a generation of Democratic Republican dominance in American politics. After serving 2 terms, Jefferson was succeeded by Secretary of State James Madison, who was Jefferson's pick, also of the Democratic Republican Party. So Jefferson serves 2 terms in office, unlike Adams. So he is the second president to serve twice in a row. You have George Washington, then you have John Adams, and you have Thomas Jefferson. And John Adams only gets 1 term because Jefferson beats him. Thomas Jefferson took office determined, whenever he began his presidency, to roll back the Federalist program of the 1790s. So everything that John Adams accomplished during the 1790s, Thomas Jefferson is making that his personal goal of his office to defeat and undo. His administration reduced taxes, government spending, and national debt. And they also repealed, that means they got rid of the Alien and Sedition Acts. In foreign affairs, it means stuff across the ocean in other countries. The major developments were the acquisition, the getting of the gigantic Louisiana Purchase from France in 1803. Also, an embargo against trade, so no more against trade with Great Britain and France. Now, this does worsen relations with Britain as the United States tried to remain neutral in the middle of the Napoleonic Wars that were engulfing Europe. So Napoleon is smashing all over Europe. He's just destroying everything. Great Britain, they're trying to get into it. And the United States is like, nope, that's too much. That's too far away. That's too expensive. No, we stay out of it. We stay out. We no fight. We no fight. Tommy J established a military academy. He used the Navy to protect merchant ships from the Barbary pirates in North Africa. We will read about that. He also developed a plan to protect the United States ports from foreign invasion by the use of small gunboats. Although this totally proves worthless and completely ineffectual and absolutely worthless during the War of 1812, which we will also read about eventually. Hey! Tommy J also authorized the Lewis and Clark expedition to explore Louisiana, the massive amount of land way out west that we bought for a few $1,000,000 of the Pacific Northwest. During his second term, his second 4-year term as president, Thomas Jefferson, his attention was focused on the trial of then former Vice President Aaron Burr for treason. Oh, that smells like drama. We might have to read about that later. Now, this does result in an acquittal, which means no guilty. On the issue of slavery, specifically the importation of slaves abroad, Jefferson also focuses on that. In 1806, Jefferson denounces, I don't like it, the international slave trade as a violation of human rights, and he calls upon Congress to criminalize it. Didn't Tommy J own slaves? Like his whole life? We're not studying about perfect people, we're studying about real people, and some of them are hypocrites. Tommy J. Congress responded by approving the act prohibiting importation of slaves the following year. Rising tensions between the United States and Great Britain dominated the final years of Jefferson's second term as the Royal Navy began impressing, that means forcing, American sailors to join them in the ships and attacking U.S. shipping. Thomas Jefferson rejected war and instead used economic threats and embargoes that ultimately hurt the United States more than it hurt Great Britain. Not as planned, but The disputes with Great Britain continued after Thomas Jefferson left office, and it did eventually lead to the War of 1812. Thomas Jefferson goes down in history as one of the best presidents we've ever had. Not exactly one of the best human beings we've ever had in our country, but he does go down as a pretty good president, although his lack of against the Great British, the British at the end of his second term does lead to the War of 1812. So he's not a perfect president, but a pretty good one. So I hope you're learning, and I hope you're doing well.